step number 3 is a storyboard is like a comic book, right? And when you are designing, coming up with the idea um, of your PSA, you want to sketch it out. But if you sketch it out in terms of an outline, we use outlines generally for papers, or you could possibly use a rudimentary form of an outline for like a podcast. All right. But whenever you have moving images, visual representation, now you need to start to sketch out what it is that you want to communicate. So in this situation, let's take a quick peek at um, this video. All right. The brain on drugs, because or we've done that one before. Okay, let's look at the second part to the drug initiative. Okay, just bear with me a quick second. You can see this, right?
Yeah.
It's yours?
No,
Mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. When a guy was
Lost of what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not.
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
you, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
Okay, so that one I really like because it's really straightforward and simple. What you've got is, in the case of a storyboard for that one, what you would have is like a sketch of a father and a son, and the body language alone is really important because the father is the authoritative figure, so he's standing, the boy is seated. And it would be kind of the same sketch over and over again: father standing, son seated, son listening to music, father comes up with a box, where did you get this, and then the next scene is same dynamics physically, but then the boy shifts, he's looking up, there's fear in his face. That would be the next image. The third image would be let's say confrontation by the boy, where he's saying, you, I got it from you. And then the last image would be of the storyboard, would be kind of like the father's shock, and to the effect that what parents do is what they teach their children. Okay, so that's a storyboard. And then you have, what you would do is the notes below the storyboard of the images, you would have maybe in background music from boys Walkman. All right. And then the very last one would be, you've got the dialogue for the different scenes. And then the very last one is the drug-free partnership for America. That would be and you'd say graphic drug-free partnership. So that if someone were to get their hands on this storyboard, they would be able to execute it for you. They would know how to create the PSA.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I am the world's worst drawer. So a few things that you can do. If it's a series of images, you can always pull some images off the internet as being your representation. I'm a stick figure person. That's how sad my drawing is. So for me, I would do the storyboard and I would have little stick figures, and I would have a little more explanation, or in the stick figure, I might have a thought bubble as to what they're saying, because I'm pretty rudimentary.
That's nice. And can we like talk over it? So let's say we put like an image from Google, but then instead of like the image speaking, we can speak over it. Would that work as well?
Well, officially a storyboard is static, which means
Oh,
it's
okay.
just on paper. You're not creating a video yet. When
Okay.
I say music, it's not, I'm sorry. It's when okay, so when I say the text, it's what, like drug-free partnership of America, that would be the text. I think that was the only text initially. Graphics would be as if you had any graphics sitting in the like a logo on the image somewhere, or it's a graphic that came up on the screen. Dialogue is where then this is the dialogue is the script of what the people are going to say. All right. So text is the written images. Dialogue is what's being spoken. Music, this is not recorded, it's purely static. So at this point you would say, um, you know, Meatloaf. I don't know any songs. Oh my God, I'm so terrible when it comes to music. Um, uh, um, Donna Summers, I Will Survive, will be, you have a note down below. Donna Summers, I Will Survive, will be playing quietly in the background. Okay, that's your music reference. And then, and/or any video clips that if you were to inject any pre-made video clips, children playing in a park, inserted into the PSA, then you would need to include those.
Okay, that sounds
Sorry,
good.
bear with me a second. I'm just looking. Yeah, so it is truly, it's static. It's all done on paper. Okay, the storyboard is a paper product. And that's it. It's a paper product, though, that has your vision of everything you're going to execute in advance. Then when you get to step 4, you are ready to create it. So Maggie, I'm going to ask a question for you. Did you create your storyboard before your PSA?
Yeah, I made the storyboard. It was like had the idea of what I was gonna do, and then as I searched for videos, it kind of evolved from there.
Okay, got it. So you created a storyboard and then you filled it in and executed what your vision was.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, I mean, can you get away without creating a storyboard? You can. You know, I mean, it's, you know, it's a catch-22. If you're creating yourself, let's say out there in the world, like when I did my PSA, I didn't know what a storyboard was. I was creating this literally on the fly on my own. And so when I did I had a vision in my head. I started shooting a lot of footage and then sat down with the editor and started creating a story and telling the story. And I got to tell you, I mean, my editor was phenomenal and patient, and he had a vision and he knew how to put it together. But I will say that if I were ever on a budget or working with other people who had limited time, I would have been crucified for that, because time is money. And when it comes to film, especially, you know, filming people, putting footage together and then editing it, comprising it into one, or compiling it into one product is a, a pretty intense experience if you don't have a vision already of what you're doing. And that's why the storyboard comes in. If you really investigate the film industry, they do storyboards. That's actually where I'm not sure if it came from the ad industry or the film industry originally. I'd have to look that up. But the film industry does it also. Advertising does this because it's the preliminary proposal of what it'll be. Because then when people have the opportunity to look at it, they'll be like, I don't, you know, in advertising, I don't like that. I don't like the message it's conveying. Or in the case of film, you might pull back and look and realize that that scene doesn't contribute to the whole story, but you're missing a part of it that needs to come into play, especially when they do things like convert books to movies, where you don't have the same dynamic flow as a pre-written screenplay. I mean, they convert the screenplay, don't get me wrong, but things get missed. Okay, Fatima, give me a temperature check. How are you doing on this? I mean, is it still feeling overwhelming, or is it just like, oh, I'm not loving this assignment and I want to go vomit?
It's good. I think you explaining it more helped me, because reading all of this, I think it was just overwhelming, because like it was just like, whoa, we have to create a video. I think that's what a lot of people are like, wait, a video? But I understand it now.
Okay, fabulous. Yeah, you know, I totally get it. And I know what I'm doing is I'm pushing you guys way outside of your comfort zone. Okay, I'm clear and complete on that.
Yeah.
And the thing is this painful experience is going to pay off hugely for you guys later. And it pays off for a variety of reasons. Number one, if you're ever involved in the creation of a PSA or an ad or a film or anything in the future, you will have the rudimentary basics of understanding exactly what's going on. You'll be pretty darn smart in that group. Thing number two is is that, you're going to start to see the power of planning really is pervasive in everything we do. And I am the queen of flying by the seat of my pants, but it's you can do that more effectively the better you get at something, but you will forever be missing stuff. And I forget things all the time because I don't have a documented plan. Okay, so it will pay off. It's just, I know that right now your world is yay big, and you don't see where it fits in, but when it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you're going to be like, oh, I'm cool. You'll get there.